What can I say that hasn't already been said on YouTube? Except, of course, my personal experience. I first saw the trailer for Spectacular Spider-Man about 6 months after watching Spider-Man 3 in theaters. I was about 6 years old and I was losing my mind. The show looked like it was going to be great, and I couldn't wait. Now I'd like to tell you that I followed the show all the way to the premiere episode, but the truth is, I don't think I did. Sure, I would watch the odd episode on Teletoon, but I wasn't really that focused on the show. Instead, the thing I was really interested in was the toys. Hasbro had made some pretty great looking toys for the show, and I wanted them. You see, cartoon shows pretty much make all their money from merchandise, and Spectacular Spider-Man had no shortage of merchandise. As much as I wanted the toys, I would still have to wait another year before I would get some. As for why it took a year, I don't know. The financial crisis of 2008 might have had something to do with it. I was young, so I didn't know anything about the grown-up stuff. The first toys I would ever get from the show would be from McDonald's in March 2009. Now, I got quite a few of them. Suction Cup Spider-Man, Dr. Octopus, Venom, Black Spider-Man swinging. However, the one I really wanted was the Spider-Man launcher. It was like the coolest toy. It had a web missile that you would hook into Spider-Man's hands and then fire it by pressing a button on the back of the figure. Rather than having a typical plastic web accessory that Spider-Man would just hold on to, this was spring-loaded. And when compared to the Suction Cup Spider-Man, who had these obnoxious red suction cups on his hands, to me this was the best toy out of the McDonald's Spider-Man line. Unfortunately, I never got one. After that, I had gotten my last Spectacular Spider-Man figure, which was a shock-charged Spider-Man. Well, that was the end for the toys. It wasn't the end of my experience for Spectacular Spider-Man. You see, there's the actual show I gotta talk about now. In 2014, a Blu-ray collection of the complete series came out. I bought it a year later, and after watching it as an older kid, I noticed more depth to the show. The way that you could understand where each character is coming from. The way that they're complex and don't always have to say the same thing. They all have layers. The way that, they have the joking Spider-Man with the awkward Peter Parker. Now, sure, it could be said that the animation looks weirdly drawn. Honestly, to me, it looks very similar to Kim Possible, which was also a show that I used to watch as a kid and liked a lot. So the animation doesn't bother me, as I'm used to it. I think the thing that everyone really talks about with Spectacular Spider-Man is the storytelling. How masterfully Spider-Man's world is set up. How they introduce characters before they even become Spider-Man's enemies. As well as in the just 2 short seasons, the team behind Spectacular Spider-Man were able to create a show that would go down as the definitive version of this character. What I love about this Spider-Man that the movies have yet to do is having Peter voice an inner monologue, that we the viewers can understand his personal problems. It's amazing that this show creates a tonally consistent show, despite taking stories from wildly different time periods. This is a show that's great, and it will always be sad that the show got cancelled on a cliffhanger. To me, this is my favorite Spider-Man. When I think of Spider-Man, I think of this Spider-Man.
Now, Mudstain, shall we dance?
Thank you so much for watching. As always, I'd love to see your thoughts in the comments. Just thank you for watching all the way to the end. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, click the like and subscribe button. And as always, I'll see you next week. Goodbye.